And we're coming at you live from Lovely Hall, as we call it. This is the Jim Masters Show Live, entertainment, lifestyle, celebrity talk show series. I'm your host, Jim Masters. Thanks so much for joining us on what is a very special episode of JMS. We're coming at you here from the United States, the East Coast. It's sunny. It's about 75 degrees. The sun is starting to set a little bit. It is in the evening at the time of this live broadcast. We are here in the New York area. Yes. The tri-state area. We are between the New York and Boston corridor and the southern New England coastline. That's where the show comes from in the almost 1,000 episodes of entertainment and great conversations, as we call them, not interviews. We call these conversations with our celebrity friends and special guests who come in from all walks of life from around the world. Gang, if you would like to participate and comment during the course of the show, I'm an interactive host, as you guys know, on television and radio professionally, and same works here at JMS, where you can comment during the show. You can say hello in our Lovely Hall chat room, which is something really special and exclusive we offer the viewers who watch on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. So fire away, say hello to one another, exchange recipes, all the other things you guys like to do in our chat room there as well. And again, we thank you so very much for all the love and support of our series, where we're bringing back, as many guests have said, and the viewers as well, what we call the lost art of conversation. And we're doing it with all of you. Going to do it right now as well in just a second with our very special and illustrious guest. The one and only Tina Cole is joining us. Yes, award-winning actress, singer, and author of her new memoir, My 3 Lives. Don't you just love the title? Absolutely. We're going to talk about the book. Of course, we're going to go over her iconic career and so much more coming up right here on the Jim Masters Show Live series. So again, we welcome you to the show. It's so great to have you here on JMS, and kick back, relax, enjoy. Don't forget, if you come in late with any of our episodes, you can see these archived on the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, as well. So we're celebrating Tina Cole and her new memoir, which is truly a page turner. And I want to tell you a bit about her background. Of course, many people know that she was Katie Miller Douglas on My Three Sons, right? But did you know as well that she comes from an illustrious entertainment background? She absolutely does. Her mother, Yvonne King, an incredible performer and entertainer and extraordinary talent. She is the daughter, Tina, of Grammy-nominated King's sister lead singer, Yvonne King. And in addition, as well, to her mother being of great, incredible vocal prowess, her father, an extraordinary performer as well, Buddy Cole. That's right. And he, of course, legendary as well, musician, music director. And as a matter of fact, he's recorded over 1,000 film soundtracks, including, on the day he died, the soundtrack of Sound of Music. Yeah. So yeah, quite an entertainment family, but it doesn't stop there, gang. There's so much more. As I mentioned, her mom with the King sisters, which is fantastic. And again, I'm sure you guys remember that. If not, you're going to hear about it here on the show. Also, not only coming from an extraordinarily talented family with her mom and dad and others, Hollywood started really early to notice Tina's extraordinary talent, and they wanted to work with her, and those opportunities came quite early because she was cast, and this is a great shot. I absolutely love this. There's a lot of things out there, but this particular one I really enjoy. This is, of course, from Hawaiian Eye. A couple of different photos we have sort of that she merged here. She got her start when Warner Brothers executives discovered her at the tender age of 14, and she was screen tested with film star Gary Cooper, and she spent the next 4 summers studying with the studio's drama coaches. And then at the age of 19, she was offered an exclusive contract with Warner Brothers Studios to replace actress Connie Stevens as the new female lead, Sunny Day, in the television series Hawaiian Eye, starring Troy Donahue and Robert Conrad. Do you remember that series? Yes. And then from there, do you remember Palm Springs Weekend? Yeah, she was in that as well. She appeared as Ruthie in the Warner Brothers movie, Palm Springs Weekend. Then she went on to, of course, several guest appearances on My Three Sons. Now, she had guest appearances on My Three Sons before taking on the role of Katie Miller Douglas, of course, where she married Robbie, which was really fantastic as well. And I want to tell you a little bit more about her extraordinary background. She's a very pleasant person. We were just having a great conversation. As you know, before the shows start, we like to adjust the audio, the lighting. We like to make sure everything sounds and looks good. She's actually coming to us from her beautiful home in Sacramento, California. I was just up in that area on a television project, actually. She was also performed on The Lucy Show, among many other television shows. She was also seen weekly with her family on ABC's The King Family Show. Now, do you remember that on ABC? Iconic, absolutely. And take a look. No, you're not looking at the Osmonds. This is the King family, and this was a part of the ABC lineup for such a long time. You know, a wonderful series, you know, great music, great entertainment. There you go, huh? Here's another great shot as well. Does this bring back iconic memories for you as well, gang? Yeah, so this was on ABC for a number of years, to the 60s and beyond. In addition to that, and again, this is really just the short list, folks, just giving you a sprinkling of some memories here of her extraordinary background. The King Family Show began in 1965. Also, there were many guest appearances on another epic series, Hollywood Palace, and also The Ed Sullivan Show. And Tina sang with the Four King Cousins. Do you remember that as well? They were regulars on NBC's The Kraft Summer Music Hall, starring John Davidson. Yes, John Davidson, of course, you know, is a dear friend of our show. He was just on recently, and we had him here. He's up in New Hampshire right now with his club sandwich. And they were, I think, the first guest on his show. Now, there they are, the Four King sisters. Isn't that a great shot? Again, I'm sure we're bringing back memories. Also, George Carlin and Richard Pryor were on that. And of course, Richard Pryor, epic comedian. His children, Rain Pryor and Richard Jr., were guests on our show, and they're dear friends as well. Also, they were on CBS's The Jonathan Winters Show, and they appeared throughout the United States and Europe, made several recordings on Capitol, Warner Brothers, and Playboy Trio, Kenwood labels for the 60s and 70s. And in 2013, they actually reunited, which I think is such a beautiful thing and so special, huh? To reunite and to tell great stories, sing more fabulous music, and share their wonderful love of music. They did that reuniting for 5 years, singing in jazz clubs and concerts, and they produced a new CD, More Today Than Yesterday. And that can be purchased on Amazon and even heard on Spotify, Apple Music, and iTunes as well. Now, besides her live theater work, and I tell you, she's been in a lot of it. She opened for various headliners, such as Bob Hope, yeah, and Ronan Martin as well. And of course, you know Ronan Martin for Laugh-In. And that was, of course, another epic series, Sock It To Me. And again, she all over television, all over stage, and in film, and just a beloved singer and actress. And in addition to all of that, folks, she's made appearances on many television specials, made-for-TV movies, talk shows, news, and a myriad of game show appearances, including multiple Hollywood Squares appearances, Family Feud, You Don't Say. And as the King Show Family Show ended its weekly run, the family toured the country and made many holiday specials too, with a beautiful one you may remember, a Christmas retrospective for PBS back in 2009. And I tell you, it's really fantastic. My Three Sons, of course, you guys know that. I know you've been very excited because you know her also from My Three Sons, that epic series. And there you go. We also had recently, if you didn't see these episodes, gang, Stanley Livingston and Barry Livingston separately were epic guests on our show when we were talking about this beloved series. And Tina, of course, played Katie and married Robbie. And then when they had the baby, it was one of the highest rated episodes of the entire television season. An absolutely beloved series, a beloved cast, of course. Fred McMurray as the warm-hearted dad. And originally, of course, you may remember William Demarest, of course, as Uncle Charlie. William Frawley, even before that as well, was on the show for a while. And we talked about that with Stanley and with Barry. And I want to let you know something else, too. She's been in a lot of fabulous musicals, theatrical productions over the years as well. And you may recall some of these. Yes, Chemical Imbalance and The Trail of Dreams and The Boyfriend and I Do, I Do. And she has reunited with some of the cast over the years from My Three Sons. You see Beverly Garland there and Barry Livingston and Stanley as well, which I think is fantastic. And something else that's quite special that we sort of learned in doing some research. Do you remember with Tom Jones as the special guest? Do you recall the 1970s Raquel Welch television special? And do you remember Raquel singing? Well, guess whose voice it was that was actually singing those lovely words? It was our very special guest, Tina Cole. Yes, I'm sure that may come as a reveal or a surprise to you here on the Jim Masters Show live series. Got lots to talk about, folks. Again, really so excited to have Tina here. And again, we could go on. This is just the short list of her iconic career. She's still doing her thing. And again, she has penned this fabulous book talking about her extraordinary career. And we're very excited. You can see it right there on the screen. It is Tina Cole, My Three Lives, a memoir. She's very open and authentic and real in the conversation that she shares in her memoir, and we're so excited to welcome her live and direct from Sacramento, California on the Jim Masters Show. Tina, welcome to the show, my friend. It's so great to have you here.
Well, thank you. I think I can die now.
That was it?
Good eulogy. I can say good night.
And that was just the short list. I tell you, you've really touched the lives of so many for so many years and in various ways, shapes, and forms, which I think is fantastic. And going back in time and taking a look at the incredibly entertaining family that you've come from, that really early on, your mother, your father, the others in the family, really sort of inspired you early on to want to go into entertainment and performance in the arts, huh?
Actually, that's not true.
Wow. You used to deliver newspapers on the corner, didn't you?
I wanted to be an elementary school teacher.
Wow.
That was my dream.
Somehow I could see that.
I just admired my fourth grade teacher so much. I wanted to emulate her.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And so the entertainment was just like all around, but it wasn't something that I looked for, that I wanted to do. It just all kind of happened. It's like, being discovered at Schwab's, I was just, having a soda, and so it was, I never really knew anything about the business of the business. No one told me how to do the business of the business. Give me a script, give me a song. I'm great.
That's it, huh?
So it was, I just kind of, people said, okay, go here, do that, go. And I go, okay, do it.
Exactly. Well, did the folks want you to get into the industry? Were they sort of inspirations for you? If you ever decide, Tina, you'd like to go into it, we'll help you get in, or you would just, you would discover.
Not at all. In fact, my father was really against it. My mom loved it. She loved the business. My dad was worried about it, because
Yeah.
it's not easy. And so we tease in my family that we were raised by wolves. The pack was always there, but the sisters were busy, rehearsing and making arrangements and doing and planning their shows, and my dad was always in the music room recording, and we just played. So we would do like, when Warner Brothers approached me, uh, I was down visiting my father. My mother and father had been divorced, and I was living in the Bay Area at the time. I would go down every summer to be with my dad. And my uncle Jim Conkling was head of Warner Brothers Records at the time. He started Warner Brothers and record department. And all through our lives, if because he was an A&R man for Capitol Records, he discovered and produced Nat King Cole and Peggy Lee and people like that. And then he went to Columbia and headed up Columbia. He started the Columbia Record Club. He's the one that he wanted to put on. I'm going a little away here. He wanted to put on a Broadway play onto an LP, but they were only 10 inches in diameter. So he developed the 12-inch so that they could put a whole Broadway play on an album. He started the Grammys, the Demarest and the Grammys. That was all his.
Well, incredible.
He was working at Warner's, and he would always say, Frank Sinatra's going to record. They need some kids. So the kids in my family would do High Hopes, or like the girls sang for Dorothy Provine for her Roaring Twenties. We were the backup singers. We sang for the Everly Brothers with 3 other young men. I think I was maybe 15, something like 14, 15 years old. And they turned out to be the Letterman. And so we always were in and around helping our uncle out. He needed help at Warner's. One of the producers of, I think it was Bourbon Street Beat, had written a rock and roll song that was brand new, and he wanted to use it in his show. So he called Jim and said, can your arrangers do it and do a recording? And Jim said, that's kind of a kid genre. Why? I've got cousins at home for the summer. Let me give it to them. So he gave it to 4 of us. We made an arrangement of it. We made up a dance. We sang it. We did a little demo thing. And they wanted us to come into Warner Brothers to show it to the producer and the heads of Warner Brothers, Bill Orr and Hugh Benson and Jim Phillips. So we did that just for our uncle. We just had fun. We went in, sang our little song, and we're leaving. And they asked me to stay. And they said, all right, come on back in. And men were coming into the office, and it was okay, stand up, sit down, put your hair up, put your hair down, smile, and then, okay, go wait out with the secretary. And I did. And they called me back and said, we'd like to screen test you. I didn't know what a screen test was.
Yeah, what's that?
They called my mother and said, can we screen test her? And she said, of course. So 2 days later, I was in makeup and I'm on a set, and it was a personality interview. And so they were just asking me questions. And then there was this tall, lanky man behind the camera with the director. And he started walking into the scene. They said, Tina, we'd like you to meet Gary Cooper. I didn't know who Gary Cooper was. I was 14. Right. He was an old man.
Right.
They liked me. I didn't wow them. I should have swooned and gone, oh, Gary Cooper.
Gary Cooper.
Now, but they liked me. And that's when they asked me to come and study every summer with their drama coaches, which I did. And then they remembered me when Connie was on suspension, and they needed a female lead. So they gave me a different character, and I saw this sunny day, and I went, "You got to be kidding!"
Sunny day.
Yeah, and they said, "Yeah, but you've got this sunny personality," and I reminded them of a young Doris Day. So that's why they.
I could see, yeah.
Days, long 1,000 years ago. So that started it, and I kept thinking, "Oh, I'll go back to school. I'll go back to school," but I never did.
And that was Hawaiian Eye, right?
Yeah, it's Hawaiian Eye.
What was it like being a part of that and working with, Troy Donahue, Robert Conrad? I mean,
it was my favorite show too.
Yeah.
By the way, it was.
Yes.
I loved that show, and I loved cricket, and so it was wonderful. It was, well, I've had a problem my whole life. I'm very nearsighted, and if I didn't have my glasses on, unless you were a foot away from me, I didn't know who you. I didn't know who you were. And I didn't want to wear my glasses,
Sure.
because in those days, boys didn't make passes at girls
with glasses.
So they weren't cool, And so I was kind of blind through it all. I just kind of, it was like swimming through, water or something.
Yeah.
You said, okay, you're going to do this. You're going to go to makeup now. You're going to go to hair. Now, this is this is your scene. And so I just did it. The boys they teased me relentlessly. There's something in the book I'm not going to tell you because you're going to have to read the book.
Got to read that book, folks.
Yeah, Troy was, we kind of dated a little bit, but Bob was always, they loved to tease me because I was very green. I was so naive, and they loved to embarrass me, but there was one point where Bob came to me and said, "You know what, kid, you're all right." And I think that was the best compliment I could have ever had from him, because they were both womanizers. They were young. They had the women flocking. So, why wouldn't they be?
That's it.
And I was like, "Oh no," just this little prudish little Marmon girl,
The almost second grade teacher.
That's right. Fourth grade. Oh, fourth.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah.
And Palm Springs weekend, matter of fact, some of our viewers that are welcoming you, they said they remember that as well. And
do you remember me getting my head thrown up against the wall? Whiskey there. Listen, we had to do that take so many times because, like, when he throws the glass at the shelves and he breaks them, it didn't break. Only a few shelves broke and nothing really fell off, and we had to do it over and over. And I mean, he really took my head and just bashed it against the wall. I had a goose egg like this in the back of my head.
Oh my God.
That was fun. That was really a fun shoot.
When you were doing that, were you also concurrently singing and performing with, the groups? How did that work for you?
The King family didn't start until I was 21 years old.
Right.
Well, 20, maybe 20. And so, there were a lot of, like, my cousins and my sister were a lot younger. I was the oldest girl. So, but we would sing at church or at Christmas parties or on record albums or, whatever people needed. When the sisters were at, like, Harrah's Club at Lake Tahoe, they would bring us on stage with them sometimes just to sing. So we had never had any real professional experience. And until my mom just scratched her head one day, the King sisters were asked by my church in Orinda, where I lived, if the sisters could do a benefit. We wanted to build a chapel. And my mom, missing everybody in Los Angeles, said, we've done that before. How about a show with the King sisters and their families?
Mm.
And she said, they said, well, that would be great. Let me get back to you. She called all of her brothers and sisters in Los Angeles and said, hey, would you do this? She wrote, she produced, I did the choreography. I helped her sew all those,
Wow.
those dresses. See those skirts right there?
Yeah. Yeah.
I helped sew all of those.
That's you. Wow.
And we put on a benefit for my church in Oakland, California. And then my one of her sisters, Donna, said, we want to build a chapel in Los Angeles in Van Nuys. Would you do another show? Yeah. So why not? So we did another show, and there must have been, 500 to 800 people at the first one, and we got a standing ovation. And in the one in Los Angeles, there were 1,000 people and a lot of writers, singers, directors, writers, actors that had come to see the show. We got another standing ovation. And then my grandfather, who was King Driggs, where the King came from, he was one of the first student body presidents of Brigham Young University. And actually it was the academy then before the university. He's the first one that put the Y on the hill. And they called him and said, we want to build Cougar Stadium. Would you do another benefit? So we all said, sure, why not? We went to Provo, Utah, and put on another show. And there were maybe 10, 11,000 people, a lot of students. And we got another standing ovation.
Wow.
And so, someone said, here's a name, someone from ABC. She said this to my mother, who produced it all. Call them. And I came down in the morning to the kitchen. It's like 6 a.m. She's in her nightgown, with bare feet, one on top of the other. She's orange, and she's talking to head of programming of ABC in New York. She's saying, I think I have a show you might like. And the King family was born.
Did she ever finish peeling that orange?
She ate every bit of it on that phone call.
How cool is that, huh?
Singing. But as a group, outside of me singing on Hawaiian Eye, which I had never sung before professionally, they just said, you're going to sing.
That's it. You're part of the family. So here we go.
And so
wow.
There were only, the King sisters, my uncle Alvino Ray, Bob Clark, who was an actor, fine actor at the time, and Tina. I think we were the only professional people in the family. And we were the first family on television. The Osmonds,
that's right,
hadn't done their thing yet. The Jacksons, it was us. And there were 40 of us, actually 39, excuse me, because one of our cousins was on a mission in Brazil.
Yeah.
So, to have that many people in one family, it was pretty amazing.
Like the first family of music in that way, when you think about it exactly. And your mother and, with the King sisters as well, weren't they the first female vocal group to do 4-part harmony?
Yeah, you've really done your homework, Jim. That's why everybody loves you so much.
So does the teacher give Jim a gold star?
A+ gold star right on your
smiley faces?
Oh yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So when the King sisters started out, they were a trio, the 3 oldest sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And they were singing on KSL radio in Salt Lake. And Horace Heidt heard them and hired them to come out to Oakland to sing with his band in San Francisco.
Yeah.
San Francisco. So the family moved to Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother, and they sang for some time. They did a gig at the Drake Hotel in Chicago. But my oldest aunt had just gotten married, and she really didn't want to do that. In fact, let's see. She's the far one on, I don't know, is that the left or the right? Behind Carl Reiner. She didn't want to sing anymore. She wanted to be with her husband. So my grandfather went to Oakland High and pulled out Donna and my mother, who was 14, and said, "Your sisters need you in Chicago." Packed up the car, packed them, took them to Chicago, and they became the four King sisters. So
Isn't
the
it
first
amazing?
female vocal group to sing in 4-part harmony. Yeah,
That's incredible. That's incredible. I mean,
amazing.
it really, really is. And that shot that we had, that's, I think they're presenting Carl
Yes,
Reiner with an Emmy, right?
yeah, we were all there. But there were too many of us to fit on the screen.
Right.
Yeah, don't they look great? And you know what?
Absolutely.
Those Emmys, by the way, maybe your listeners or watchers would like to know this. That was in a little banquet room
Right
in
there. Yeah.
Beverly Hills. I mean, there was nothing there. It was just
Nothing
a
like
banquet
now.
hall. And we were
Right.
all sitting in plain old banquet tables with a little runway, maybe in a stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've come a long way, haven't we?
And you bagged your own lunch too, right?
Oh yeah, we had a rubber steak, a rubber chicken dinner.
Times have changed.
Yeah,
Although I think we're sort of going back in that direction
and
lately.
they
it
never
seems.
asked who you were wearing.
No,
Never.
no, right, exactly. No, it's absolutely not. The times have certainly
Oh yeah.
changed. Look at this shot we dug up.
Oh my goodness.
Fabulous.
Isn't that dress cool?
It
That dress is
is.
really cool. My mother liked it so much that she had them made for all of the women.
She did. Oh
Mhm.
wow.
They
That's
were,
so
it's a nude, like a slip underneath. And then with that
wow.
white point de spree. Oh, I felt like a princess in it.
Yes, and you look like, well, what was the occasion? Was it anything specific?
I don't remember that one, but I wore that dress in the first time that it was worn. It was for our Easter special,
Oh
and
yeah.
that was 70, maybe 71, something like that. And I played a mannequin. I was a mannequin in a kiosk at the open air, the Bullock's Fashion Square in the Valley. And my cousin Ricky, who was in the Army Field Band at the time, so he was in his uniform, comes and sees me as a mannequin in the kiosk in that dress, and he sings "Going Out of My Head,"
Oh,
and
I think
and
I'm going out of my head.
and
Yeah.
and pardon me, miss, and he ends up pulling me out of the kiosk, and I'm just stiff. I'm just a mannequin, and he stands me up. It's my favorite number I've ever done.
Yeah.
Stands me up, and then I come to life, and we dance. And in
Wow.
the middle of the dance, I go back to the mannequin, and he has to bend me back up and shove me into the kiosk before the number's over. And that was the dress I wore. I loved
That's
it.
so
That's
cool.
really my favorite number I think I've ever done.
Oh
And I
boy.
didn't sing. I just did this.
You just did that. The mannequin. No, her screen hasn't frozen, folks. She's doing the mannequin for you. You mean, how come J.C. Penney and Sears didn't want to hire you?
Exactly.
I mean,
There are people that do that. I
there
think.
are. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Mimes too. Look at this too, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was great. Our 4th of Julys were like unlike anybody's. And our family parties were unbelievable. They were like shows.
Yeah, I
And
can imagine.
we would put on skits, and I have a wonderful picture of this group with the younger kids all standing on the diving board doing George Washington's crossing of the Delaware. And we would have sometimes we dug pits in the backyard, and we would do a full clam bake. And I mean, we just it was Mother's Day, Father's Day, 4th of July, Memorial Day, you name it, Groundhog's Day.
Mm,
We were together having this wonderful party.
wow. Isn't that incredible? I mean, that's quite beautiful because a lot of families don't get a chance to do that. So even
Yeah,
while there was performance, involved, it's the love of family. How much
absolutely.
of a foundation did that add to your life? How much did that give you in terms of having the
Make me
support, the
cry.
love, and the confidence to be able
Yeah.
to continue to do what you do in a very difficult, demanding, unpredictable industry, knowing that you had this love and support system, and a pretty extensive one,
Mhm.
around you?
Yeah, it meant everything. There was a magazine article um, that came out, in the rag mags in those days, not the Inquirers yet, but all the TV magazines and things. And it said, it's a big picture of us, and it says the King family, the horrible secret that they're trying to hide or something like that. You read like 10 pages in the very last paragraph, it says the real secret is they really loved each other. That was, we would have squabbles, and but the love is what was the glue. That was the glue.
And when you have that, because not everybody has it, it really is something beautiful and very, very
Yeah,
special. And yeah, you're blessed in many, many ways, and
very.
you can see it too. Through the years of the family together, which I think is fantastic. I love this. We dug this up.
Oh,
Pow. Oh, I see that. I see pow. That is cool.
that
Introducing the four
yeah,
King cousins.
that was fun. And our cousin Lex Diazevedo was an A&R man for
Lex
Capitol.
Diazevedo. Oh my God, I have so much of his music. He was
Yes,
very big. He was very big in this is the radio side of me, in also creating he contributed a lot to the beautiful music,
the
easy
he
listening
listening.
through
Yes,
Bonneville Broadcasting.
exactly.
A lot of instrumental versions of popular
Yeah,
songs. Wow. He
and
is your
my first cousin, and he
that I didn't know.
yeah.
Wow.
See,
Gee.
there's something you don't know. I can't believe it.
I bet they own the
You
post
could have
office and the
written my
bank too,
July.
and they own the supermarket and the pharmacy.
Yeah, exactly. But he was an A&R man with
Oh
Capitol
yeah.
Records, and
Wow. I'm
he
stunned. That's cool.
he said he wanted to do a kind of beach boy with girls. I think he really wanted four Claudine Longers is what he wanted.
Yes.
And so he asked us if we would do an album. And but um, he didn't really let us sing the way we sang. He wanted a real breathy, soft, real iconic California surfer girl sound. But and we just it was really fun. But we had to, he did all the arranging and he produced the album. Uh, it is now, which I'm finding out, and I love it. It's become almost iconic in that sound, that real beachy
Hmm.
California, from the 70s, that sound, and people are loving it again. Isn't that
He
fun?
was a real master of his craft, huh, Lex?
He was. He After he left the King family, he went on to do the Sonny and Cher music for Sonny and Cher for the television show. Yeah, and then he left the secular world and started writing musicals for our church and doing a lot of spiritual music, which he still does. And now he said, I think I want to go back and do some more of that groovy music that he used to do.
That's so cool, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize that connection. Wow.
Mhm.
That's really, really. So there's a lot of incredible talent within the family, including we talked about your mom, your dad. Tell us about your dad, Buddy Cole, another incredible legend.
We had no idea that our parents were famous.
They were mom and dad. Yeah.
That's what they were. And my dad, I tell you a really cute story. he was like 10 years old, and he was the youngest. He had 3 older sisters, and they played the piano. He had a few piano lessons, but he loved the organ. He would go down. His sister played music, the organ for the silent movies at the old Figueroa Theater in Los Angeles. And my dad would go down just to watch because he loved it so much. He would go down even when she wasn't working. And one day he was there watching, and no organist showed up. And the theater manager said, "Okay, is anybody in the audience? Can anyone play?" And he said, "Oh, I can." He was 10. He'd never had a lesson on the organ. And he got up and he played for the silent movie. And so the organ was his first love. When I was a baby, little girl, he had I think it was a 1200 pipe organ in our backyard.
In the backyard.
And he had built this wonderful music room. And
did you also have a sandbox too, or just the organ?
No sandbox, just an organ.
Just the.
And in the music room, he had the 12. Well, in another room were 1200 pipes. And then this another room with these huge leather bellows that would work the air through. And so in the music room, he had couches on one side and the organ console. He had his baby grand. He had his an actual record machine that actually, made the grooves in the record to record. And all the fuzz would come out. And that was my job. I got to, with a little brush the fuzz off the vinyl or whatever it was with a wax. I don't know what it was then. And
so
then
you're basically saying that was your first brush with the fuzz?
Oh, that was so good. Yeah. And then he had a huge professional bar, a big bar with, all the glasses and then a recording studio. And people would come over. He played for like Fibber McGee and Molly, and The Shadow, all of those. And I remember getting all after our bath, we'd get in our nighties and we'd sit at the console and listen to the radio shows. And after the record dates and the radio shows, people would come over to the house and hang out in the music room. Wow. And just, and they would jam, they would play. I mean, it was for Hoagie Carmichael and Peggy Lee and, Bing Crosby and Phil Harris. I mean, all these people would just hang out in the music room. And one night, well, I think this happens a lot. Hoagie Carmichael, they got a little loaded. They had a lot to drink there after all their dates. And he would come in my room and wrap me up in a blanket and carry me out to the piano and sit me on the piano bench next to him and he'd say, "Okay, I'm not going to record this until you tell me if you like it." And he'd play like Georgia or Stardust or, some song that he was working on. And so my dad was the musical director for Bing Crosby and Rosemary Clooney. She was my Aunt Rosie. Loved her so much. And Doris Day and Phil Harris, Marlene Dietrich, Judy Garland. I mean, all these people. And and then Bing Crosby was doing the Bing Crosby show as a series. And this is crazy. Bill, and I didn't know this till later, Beverly Garland played his wife in the show. Yeah. And this is 1964. So this is before I had done some My Three Sons, but I wasn't Katie yet. Yeah. And my dad Bing wanted him on the set. So he would play live for Bing to sing. And he was so proud of he had a bicycle with a bell and a basket on it. He'd ride around the lot. And in November of 1964, he had just done a pre-record at the Hollywood Palace with Phil Harris. And they were getting ready to go up to Harris Club Lake Tahoe for 2 weeks. And they had done this pre-record that night, but right before that, he had finished 8 hours working on The Sound of Music. You know, where they get married, the big organ?
Yes.
Yeah, that was my dad.
Wow.
And he had a heart attack that night and died. And he was almost 48 years old.
48. Yeah.
And had accomplished so much. We had no idea until, you know, till Facebook came out and people came out of the woodwork saying, you know, your dad did this and he did that. It was just Daddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
Absolutely.
he loved us to death. And he was
Yes.
fun. He was really fun. He took me on my first roller coaster when I was 3.
Did he? When you were 3?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And he had an old Indian motorcycle, black one. It was before Harley, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And, he bolted an apple crate on the back for me to ride in. And I'm like 3 years old and I'm holding on. We didn't have helmets. We weren't strapped in anywhere. We didn't wear leather. You know, we'd ride around the neighborhood in his Indian motorcycle. He was a character.
That is so cool and a beautiful, way that you express it. How much of him is in you?
Oh, he was a lot.
Yeah.
I wish I had, he would sit me down at the piano and take one finger of mine and play, the lead lines while he's playing everything else with the left hand. That's all I ever learned from him. One finger, which, here's this great pianist
but still
I can't play the piano, but I have an appreciation. You need people who appreciate. Maybe they don't have the talent, but they've got the appreciation.
But they have the appreciation, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you've got
he had a sense of humor like no one I know. And they would tell Buddy Cole stories long after he died, among the musicians he was the funniest man naturally. If he was around, it was a party.
Yeah.
And that's what we do have. My cousin went to a woman's meeting. It was like a women's conference. Talked about, these perfect women that were the perfect wives, the perfect mothers. They baked bread. They made their own clothes.
The Stepford Wives, or?
And she said she came away from that meeting, sat down on the steps and cried. And she said, I don't know how to do any of that stuff. And then she realized, I'm getting excuse me, a little frog. She realized that you could learn all those things in a book. But what we got from our parents was an awakened eye, love of beauty, of music and art and beautiful, how to make the life of a party, how to make people feel special. And you can't get that out of a book.
No.
So our parents gave us this lust for life. And that, that is, you couldn't ask for more.
And you took the bull by the horns and have really, exercised the opportunities in so many different ways, film, television, stage, in glorious ways, as we've been talking. And then comes along that opportunity, after sort of making guest appearances, then they say, boy, she's really good. And the audience is responding. Yeah. Let's make her a regular part of The Douglas Family, Katie Miller.
That was amazing.
My Three Sons, this iconic series. I mentioned that we had the pleasure of having Stanley Livingston and Barry Livingston as guests on the show, and both were fantastic. And they just talked about the love on the set, and of course William Demarest, and his grouchiness, but he was lovable, and William Frawley before that. And
I remember doing the morning show for CBS with Stanley and Barry. I love my brothers, by the way.
oh, of course.
And Don was not doing well at the time. He was in Los Angeles by remote, and they asked, who was your favorite, William Frawley or Bill Demarest? And I went, William Demarest, by far. And they all said, oh no, William Frawley. Because they had grown up, they were little boys with him.
Yeah.
And he played with them. He took them to baseball games. He bought them surfboards. I'm sure they told you about doing the tricks on Vivian Vance across the studio lot.
No, I didn't hear that. Tell us about that.
I don't know, except to hear them tell it.
And I want to hear it from you, because for 10 years, you played Ethel Mertz in an I Love Lucy tribute show. So we get to hear it from the closest thing to Vivian Vance, other than maybe if we have Lucy Arnaz back on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I only know that they just, when they talk about it, they just laugh so hard, because he would I just remember something about balloons, like stuffing her whole dressing room with balloons, or, just irritating her, because William Frawley and Vivian Vance did not get along.
They were not exactly coffee clutch friends. No.
So he would torture her, and he would get the boys to go and help him, be his minions while he tortured her. I wish I knew all the stories. So you have to have them back so they can tell you.
I had heard there was something in his contract too, that because he was a staunch Yankees fan, and when he was doing I Love Lucy, there was something in the contract, I guess, with Desi Lou and with Desi to the effect that if the Yankees are in the World Series or in the pennant or whatever, he got to go to those games and would not be in those particular episodes.
That I did not know. I did not know.
Kind of cool.
I'll tell you, for me, and I only worked with him in a couple of little scenes, but I was on the set with him.
Yeah.
He was, and this is not, I'm saying this lovingly, maybe. I mean, he was a drunk. He would drink his lunch. And the boys say that, they'd have to go pull him off the bar stool and bring him back to the studio to, finish and sober him up and finish shooting. But he was another womanizer. He was crude. And I didn't like that. Whereas William Demarest was sweet and kind, and he played this gruff character, but he was just a marshmallow inside, and so sweet. And, he was just loving and wonderful. So, we really differ on that, because by the time he came around, the boys were already, preteen, and there was nothing for him to do with them. And it was interesting. And I don't know that I said this in the book. Maybe I did, but we were not social. I think I must have. We were not social on
the cast
and crew. We didn't do things socially together. And the way we shot with the McMurray method, which I'm sure they told you all about.
Remind the audience of that method. It was very specific. Yeah.
Oh, yes. And because he was really one of the first, or maybe Robert Young was the first, I don't know, but one of the first real big movie stars to do television.
Fred McMurray, yeah.
The movies were here up on this pedestal, and the TV people were, way below them, and never would the twain meet, But he had this deal. So we were doing, when I joined, we were doing 26 episodes a season. A lot different from the 6 and 8 that they do now.
That they do now, yeah.
And his deal was he would do the first month. So the first 13 shows had to be already written when we started shooting. And he would work from 8 to 5. That was it. And we would do all of his scenes from all those 13 shows. and the master shots, if he was in them,
Yes.
2 shots, his close-ups.
Yes.
And then when he had left, so from 5 to 8 or however late we worked, we would pick up some of the scenes that, he wasn't in. The first time that happened to me was awful. It was a scene where Robbie and Katie had broken up the night before the wedding. And I was at my aunt's house in Pasadena in the bedroom crying, and Dad comes in to talk to Katie. And I tell him it's too late. There's nothing he can do. It can't be fixed. It's over. And I had real tears in the master shot. I had real tears in his close-up. And I'm ready to do mine. And they said, okay, let's go to the kitchen. We've got scene so-and-so there. We'll pick up Katie's close-up sometime later. It was like, what? It was shocking to me. And so maybe a month later, and Fred isn't even in the studio, he's off playing golf somewhere. They said, we've got a half an hour. Let's build that bedroom that Katie was in, and we'll pick up that close-up of hers. So they come to me, they bring me the script for that scene. They bring me a Polaroid of what I looked like, what my hair was doing, what I was wearing. And I have to go in and reconstruct this emotional scene with the dialogue coach, who was a woman standing on an apple box next to the camera, kind of impersonally reading Dad's lines. And I don't think in my close-ups for that scene, I had the tears, and I was really disappointed.
Yeah, sure.
But I learned really fast how that's the way they shot. And there were times like when I was pregnant, or when we were doing the second season with the triplets. Okay. I'm just blanking on, isn't that terrible?
You're talking about the scene, the apple box, the triplets.
Our producer.
The producer.
Said, isn't that terrible? You'll cut this out, right?
And we're live.
Live, right?
That's it. That's all right.
Anyway,
it was a few years ago,
Really. I talk about this all the time, and I can't remember. Anyway,
you're all choked up. That's why.
Because up until then, women just wore a pillow tied around their waist if they were pregnant. Well, we didn't want that, so a full bodysuit was made for me that had to zip up, and it was with each growing month, it was padded with with lamb's wool and rubber, and the breasts were padded, and every month they got bigger. Everything got bigger. So I had to go walk.
The things they had to go through to provide each of you the hours of entertainment that they have.
That's right.
Now you know, everybody.
Yes. So I had to go, and I had 3 of these. They looked like bears. They looked like Mama Bear, Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear, And they would be hanging in my dressing room. You'd open up the door, and there were these bears staring at you. And I had to go walk for our producers to see, how it looked. No, it wasn't enough. I came back, and they had put fishing weights, all sewn fishing weights, all into the suit. Ooh. And one that tucked into my bra, so that I had 20 pounds of weights in that suit. But I would have to do in one day, I would be not pregnant. I would be 9 months pregnant. I would be 3 months pregnant. I would have already had the babies in one day of shooting. It was crazy making, but it was good training.
Are you sure you weren't starring on The Bionic Woman?
Not really. Whatever.
Pregnant, not pregnant.
We had to do, what's out there.
That is amazing. That is really something. It's interesting again how they did it. And you've stayed in touch with the guys. We
Oh,
dug up this one, of course, with Beverly Garland as
yes.
well. This is a great shot of
I
Stanley,
love that.
Barry, you,
That was at
Beverly.
an autograph show at Beverly's Hotel in North Hollywood.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
You know about, she became my real mother-in-law.
Tell the audience that they might not realize that. Yes. And she, of course, a legendary actress herself, Beverly
Oh,
Garland.
yes.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, she was amazing, and I adored her. She was a little scary at first when I first met her because she was larger than life. She'd walk on a set, "Hi, I'm Beverly Garland," and I would go, "Hello,"
Sort
just,
of like a cross between B. Arthur and Ethel Merman, or
oh, she was. But uh, I had met her stepson during the show. He'd come on the set every now and then, or I'd see him at a party at her house. And 2 years after the show ended, I get a call from Fillmore Crank. Her husband's name was Fillmore Crank, Fillmore Pajot Crank, and it takes a hell of a man to live with a name like that. That's how she introduced him. Well, his son, her stepson, was also Fillmore Pajot Crank Jr. I get a call from him in the middle of the night, and we talked for a couple of hours, and he had awakened her in the middle of the night and said, "Hey, Mom, remember Tina Cole's phone number? Do you have it?" And we married 6 months later. So she became my real stepmother-in-law.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I tell you.
I know, crazy.
3 degrees of separation throughout the entire experience.
I did. I loved both. She and her husband were just really wonderful people.
You've won, all kinds of wonderful accolades, and you also won in 2014 the Vanguard Award for See Me, this wonderful film. Tell us about this.
This was a lot of things happened after Facebook. I was so detached from everything in the business.
Yeah.
Outside of, I would, one time I filled in for my mom with the King sisters on tour. I did some voiceover work for my cousin Cam, who was the voice for the original Leonardo Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle and a lot of others. And he had a looping group. And so he would call me and I would do some things like that. But I got a call from someone who found me on Facebook who was producing a short film. It was on burn victims, burn survivors. And her daughter is an actress and was playing the lead in it, and was very bullied by the mean girls at high school. And she was talking to the other producer, and she said, whatever happened to Tina Cole? I want to see what she's doing. She looked me up on Facebook and we met, and she asked me if I would be the grandma in the film. And I hadn't been on camera in years. And this is, let's see, where's her daughter? Oh yeah, there's Stephanie. That's her daughter. And so these are my 2 granddaughters in the film. And it was great to be back on set again. I just loved it. It was really fun. It was a short film, and it was entered into several, contests and whatever.
You got the Vanguard Award for it. Yeah. Which I think is fantastic.
Longevity.
Yes. 50 years of entertainment excellence. You've also received many other awards and recognitions. Photoplays People's Choice, Most Promising Actress. Well, I think she's met that promise now.
Well, let me tell you, so before they gave me the award, they gave it to us on the Joy Bishop show. And but before, backstage, they showed me the list. And they said, "We want you to see the list of all the people who have won this Most Promising Actress Award." Every single one has gone on to win an Academy Award. Don't let us down. Oh,
That's what they said.
yeah.
What a
Well,
buildup,
guess
huh?
what? I'm not dead yet, right?
There's still lots of time, lots of time.
I need grandmas,
Oh
right?
my God. After this appearance on the Jim Masters Show live series, of course, the Academy Award is going to be next.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And they already said you're a Jim Masters Show lovety. All the viewers that are commenting towards the end, we'll take a look at some of their comments. They already said you're a lovety. So you can have the Academy Award, the Emmy, the Telly, the Tony, the Grammy, the Peabody. But how does it feel to be a Jim Masters Show lovety?
I love it.
Most guests say their feet start tingling. One guest said they started levitating as a result.
Oh, levitating.
Well, I like that. Levitating, you said. I
Levitating.
like that.
Yeah, use that.
Golden Globes nominated for Best Actress in a Comedy Series, SC Motion Picture Council's Golden Halo Classic Film Award.
Yeah.
And also over the last 40 years, while raising your family, you've taught acting, music, etiquette, and you've been involved in many, many charities, hosting telethons for the Cerebral Palsy Organization, the Children's Miracle Network, the Cancer League, the Society for the Blind, the March of Dimes. And you were also Mother's March Chairman for the March of Dimes and a founding board member of the Sacramento Child Abuse Council as well. And you love giving back, don't you, Tina?
I do. One of my most favorite things that I've done in Sacramento, I was the director for the Sacramento Children's Theater. It's not children acting, it's adults doing theater for children. I did it for 24 years, and COVID shut us down. I would never have given it up, but you know, it killed a lot of things when it was here. But it was when we ended, we had produced 83 consecutive years of free musical theater for children, kindergarten through third grade. It was a field trip. They would come, during school, and the shows were, they were 35, 40-minute musicals, all interactive with the children. And then the children would come and meet all the characters after the plays. And that was just, I look forward to that every single year. And I was heartsick when COVID shut us down.
Well, back in 91, when the music program was cut, you actually took over the music program for grades kindergarten through third grade at your children's school in Sacramento too, huh?
I did. Yeah, they kept the music program fourth through sixth. And I said, well, my kids I had them spread all through the school. And so I got another mother who could play, because I can't. And we did a program. It was a holiday program with all the grades. We had taught them enough about music that each class wrote their own song, wrote their own words, and performed it in the holiday show. So it was wonderful. And the other thing that I did when my eldest son was sixth grade, and we were in the valley, in the San Fernando Valley, and they had made busing mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
And my little blonde, fair-haired little Danish boy was going to be bused an hour and a half each way to East LA to Watts to go to school. And they said, oh, don't worry, there'll be a policeman on the bus and there'll be one at the school. And I didn't want to do that. And I happened to find a flyer that said, would you join us? We want to keep our kids, home, near home. So I helped form with just a bunch of parents got together. We formed a community school called River Oaks that had 250 students, K through 8. We had accredited teachers. we all did, the parents did the art, and I did music and drama. One of our most famous students was Moon Unit Zappa,
Oh, yeah. Frank Zappa's daughter.
and her brother Dweezil,
Dweezil
and
Zappa. Yeah.
their mother was a room mother there, and we did programs. We did, in fact, Don Grady was, no longer doing the show, and he would play the music for us. I mean, it was just a real community effort. And it was the best education. And I felt safe because, the busing didn't work for the kids from Watts and the kids from Sherman Oaks. It didn't work.
Didn't work. Yeah.
And they wanted to be with their friends and, after school and stuff. So that was something I was really, really proud of, and just loved the parents and the teachers, just was great. So I've done that, through my life. Children are the most important thing. And so I ended up actually becoming a teacher in a way. I didn't
Isn't that
have
amazing? You're right. It was always in the cards for you, right?
Yeah.
It was always in the cards because you've always been inspiring and entertaining and making people feel good through all of your body of work, as well as we celebrated here on the show. And I mentioned something that was very interesting, and I loved digging this out. The 1970s Raquel Welch television special, Tom Jones, the special guest star, and Raquel singing. However, it was the lovely voice of Tina Cole. Tell us about that, Tina.
Oh, well, I can now because she's no longer with us. But
Yeah.
The cousins were
The show must go on, right?
Yeah, the cousins, yeah. My 4 cousins were doing the Barbara McNair show. And the director was David Winters. Remember David?
Mm-hmm.
He was in West Side Story, and he's a really good director. And he came to me and he said, after the show was over, he said, "Okay, I'm in big trouble and I need your help." And I said,
yeah.
Okay. He said, "Raquel is supposed to air tomorrow night."
Uh-oh.
And we've had a problem with the sound. And I don't know what will you come in to the studio and re-record her songs? So the cousins went in, they did background. There was one low note that I couldn't hit. My sister sang one low note, but so we had to learn the songs. I mean, they were mostly familiar, the Sounds of Silence and Aquarius and things like that. But I had to watch the screen because it was already filmed. It was in the can. I had to watch her and sing to her mouth movements. And when I listened to it later, I mean, like much later, I realized how my voice didn't really fit her, but it was.
But you saved the day.
But the sound was good, and it was, in key, and it was a little gentler than her voice would have been. Her voice is a little huskier, whatever. But it was quite an honor. It was really fun. I loved doing it, and it was a real challenge trying to make that, make sure that I'm closing my mouth when she closed hers.
Exactly. And did anybody guess it or not really over the years?
No, they didn't over the years. They heard about it, but she did not know when it aired. And she was not happy when, I don't know that she knew that I did it, because we had known each other from the Hollywood Palace. She was that she held up the signs, what do you call the next act is.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And we took dance classes together and things. So I knew her, but I may have run into her, but she never said anything. But I know she was not happy.
Not happy. It happens a lot. I mean, I've even had to do it in television, radio, where something is voiced, by somebody, and the commercial or narration is airing tomorrow, and that person is nowhere, they're in
Exactly.
Europe or wherever they are, and maybe your voice can sort of sound similar or have similar qualities, and you have to go in and you just get it done. So you save the day, Tina.
I did.
Isn't that amazing?
I know.
I tell you.
Totally different beings,
But exactly right. Hey, look at this cool photo we dug up. Now, we
Oh,
just had last night, for folks, if they were with us, they sort of not. Ryan Cassidy, of course, of the Cassidys, Patrick, Sean, David, Shirley Jones, Jack Cassidy, was our guest last night. We had such a wonderful conversation. Look at the amalgamation of television and music history in this photo. Tell us about this.
We thought that was a rather odd
blending.
Yeah, because we were on CBS, they were on ABC. The shows didn't have anything to do with each other. And I believe it was one of the first reunion type shows that was on. And it actually worked out really well. It was really fun to do.
Yeah.
It was several years after the shows.
Look at everybody. Danny
I know.
Shirley Jones and Fred McMurray. I mean,
yeah.
Everybody.
And McCrae was, and Tim Constantine. It was Dave the Madden. Only one that I'm getting close because, as you know, I told you I'm nearsighted.
Sure.
Tramp is missing and Dawn Lynn is missing. And I'm sorry that she was missing. She played Beverly's daughter in the show.
That's right. That's exactly right.
But that was fun to do. And I tell you, I got to know David
Cassidy
on a different level. And
he
was very, very nice person.
That's what everybody says. And Ryan was talking about him so greatly missed, David Cassidy, and the love of family amongst all of them, the Cassidys, which was quite extraordinary as well. Look at this other wonderful shot. That is cool. That is.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was this for?
Now, I don't know. Different magazines did just, took their own pictures.
They did their own thing.
The cover of my book, that photo was
which is fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. That was taken by the Sacramento Bee for an article that they did.
Was it really?
And I had nothing to do with Sacramento. I didn't move to Sacramento for, 30 years.
A while.
Yeah. So
But you liked it so much, and the publisher liked it. They said, let's run with that, huh?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
and you've been shipping a few out here and there. We have evidence of that.
Oh, yeah. That's fun.
No carpal tunnel syndrome yet, huh?
I always tease that I could never even write a grocery list. So, and people kept saying, but you tell such good stories and you've got so much in there. And one day, my friend Debbie, who you have had conversations with, sent me, I opened up the mail and there was a voice recorder. And she said, you're going to start your book. And I said, I can't write. And she said, yes, you can. You can tell stories. So we made a list of questions with my girlfriends and they would call and they would ask me a question and I would get out my little voice recorder and I would tell them the stories. And then I would send the files to Debbie, who would type them up and then send them back to me. And after a couple of years, I had all these, as my cousin said, you have pearls. Now you have to weave them into a necklace. Yeah. And I would tell people, why would anyone want to read my story? Because I was never addicted to drugs or alcohol. There was no abuse. There was, I've never been depressed. I've been down, but not depressed.
Not haven't had, right.
And so, most people are recovering from something.
Yeah.
How did they dig themselves out? And then I realized, I really did have a story to tell. I had 2 failed marriages, which I never expected to have. And there were times when I was pretty low and very scared. And I've got one page in the book that I took a picture of a calendar. I had found all these date books from, years and years of date books, journals, things that I had written in. And I took a picture of it. It's in the book. And it said, I had 3 little children, 1 in college and 3 little, grammar school kids, and no support. And in the date book, it says, I've got $4 in the bank. I have $20 in my purse, and I have 1/8 of a tank of gas in my car. What do I do? So yeah, there were some hard times.
People don't realize that the people they see on television and in movies and on stage and in the world of music are real people with real lives. And as much as they're entertaining and providing joy, realizing the essence of who they are, as you have done and continue to do so beautifully, and your iconic family has as well, there are ups and downs, and there are moments where we can look in the mirror and say, okay, all of this that I've experienced, the highs, the lows, what's it all about, Alfie?
Yeah.
But it's those times, I guess, that you then call upon the faith and the strength and the love of maybe family to get through, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And to share that story is very inspired, as for somebody else who may be going through something similar, and they aren't, a revered celebrity. They are somebody that does what they do in their life, and they don't feel like they have a chance. It's beautiful that you share it in such an open and honest and caring way.
Yeah, thank you. No, that needs to be on. Oh, not the fan, but there we go.
Now, just proving my point. See the impact you have with that story? People are calling already.
Really? Oh, that's wonderful.
Didn't you just hear it? They're calling you now at your house.
Okay, Kathy, you got to turn off the fan. My girlfriend just came in and turned on the fan, thinking it was the light. It's making this big. Can you turn it off? Sorry about that, guys.
See what Tina has to go through to provide entertainment for the world.
I've got it.
But that's a beautiful story, and it's very, very, inspiring. The fact that you share that, I appreciate that as well, and you share that in the book. Linda Johnson says, I have Tina's autographed book, and I also grew up watching My 3 Sons, the color episodes, and Robbie and Katie's wedding was the first wedding I remember watching on a sitcom, and it was great.
Oh my goodness.
From one of our lovely viewers.
If I had known that Don Grady didn't want me to be his bride in that, I would have been very nervous.
Oh, well, I tell you, he should have heard from Timothy Larson, because Timothy says Tina added a wonderful energy to My 3 Sons.
Thank you.
Another one of our lovely viewers as well. Joseph, I know, Jr., who's in Connecticut, said, hi, Jim and Tina. I purchased your autograph copy of the book. I loved it. Thank you for having grown up watching the King family and My 3 Sons. I am a devoted fan.
Oh, thank you.
What an incredible family and entertainment in which to grow up in, from Timothy as well, and Christine. Oh, wow. Incredible, cool stories, superb musicians as well. There was another one that, Toby, who's in Encino, California, one of our lovely viewers. Can you ask her if she's ever performed with the King family at that theater? It was an old Jehovah Witness building in Woodland Hills on Ventura Boulevard. I want to say by DeSoto and Winnetka.
No, it was I think it's a church now, but it was the Valley something theater, and we did perform out there. You're right.
Maureen is watching in 120-degree
Oh,
Phoenix,
no.
Arizona, and you'll love this one. I have a very important question for Tina. Where can I find the fountain of youth that you have obviously found? You are absolutely beautiful. She's one of our longtime loveties.
I could live on that for a while. Thank you.
That's a good one. Maybe we'll leave that one. I'll try to print that one out and send it off to you, Tina. Because when I get those, I often ask, can we print that out? How do we print that out?
I know. Can I print it up?
The King family was on my TV a lot as a kid as well. Jen in Pennsylvania is saying this is such a fun show. And that's why I tell everybody, we don't do interviews, we do conversations. And that's exactly, you and I were talking about that. I think conversations are, just the best. George Mallory says, Tina, Don Grady as Robbie always made wearing pajamas that had shorts cool. Love that they allowed you two to sleep in bed together like all married couples.
Yeah, that was a biggie.
Because that was a
biggie because we came back to do that scene and went back from the honeymoon, and they remodeled the house, and we had twin beds in the set. And Don said, absolutely not. I'm putting my foot down. So they got the biggest bed, and the rule was we could not end the scene facing each other. We had to turn around. And the last show that
as if one of you had a headache or something.
Barbara Eden couldn't show her navel either as Jeannie and her, little.
They
had a lot of rules in those days.
Exactly.
And the last show that Fred DeCordova directed before he went on to produce Johnny Carson, he said, I'm going to be really daring, but I'm not going to be on the show anymore, so I can do it. I want you to end the scene facing each other. And that was like, oh, okay.
Right. Isn't that amazing how it used to be in the different ways?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's Monks here says.
Okay, sorry, I'm getting real close.
Me too. I liked Tina's role in the 1963 Warner Brothers film Palm Springs Weekend. Only wish she had a few more scenes in it.
Me too.
and we talked about it earlier, but yeah, that was a lot of fun, huh?
It was fun. I think, and that group was so great to work with. Stephanie Powers was wonderful.
Stephanie Powers,
and,
yes.
And Jerry Van Dyke, and of course Troy and Bob. That whole group.
George Mallory watching. He said, Tina Cole, you're still a beautiful woman. What became of the triplets that appeared on the last season of My Three Sons?
The last several seasons, the Todd triplets. They are, oh golly, I talked to, I think it was Dan a few years ago. They're doing great. They're great, big, strapping guys. They are, and they're adorable still. And they were darling then. They were really cute. I love those kids.
What was the inspiration? It's cool. It sounds like you have like a little merengue band next to you. No, do you want to?
Kathy!
Hey, Kathy.
Kathy, come turn off my fan. It's interrupting the show. She thought she was turning on the light, and she turned it off and then turned on. It's the fart.
Hi, Kathy. I have a cousin, Kathy.
I have a sister, Kathy.
You have a sister, Kathy.
Wait, you have to.
Do you have Irish in you?
She does.
Do you?
I do. Oh, absolutely.
There's no way you're not Irish and don't have a Kathy, Catherine, Kathleen in the family.
Kathleen Mavornan.
There you go. Yeah, we have Kathy's.
Oh, there. The merengue's off.
The power that she has. I tell you, the power that you have. That is amazing.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you a story. What was it about? Do you remember?
Before the ticking and the ringing. Well, I was going to ask, and maybe this will weave it back. The inspiration for even writing the book. What was it about? And this is her memoir, folks, and it's a page turner, and it's beautifully written and very open and real and authentic. What was it about right now that inspired you to tell the story now? And congratulations on it. Not always an easy task.
Thank you. It was difficult. I, I told you, my friends just said, you got to tell these stories. Over years and years. And finally Debbie sent me the voice recorder, said, okay, now you're doing it.
This is the
And I
time.
went, really? And so I did do one thing. I was very careful not wanting to disparage, my husband's. I needed to tell the story, but I wanted to be very careful with my children. And I sent them the chapters about their dads. And I said, if there's anything in there that is hurtful or anything that you wouldn't want to read, tell me. And all of them, except I had a couple of dates wrong, but they all said, no, Mom, it's good. You need to tell it. And so I really appreciated that. But I guess because I had a publisher that wanted to publish it. And so it was, then we, really got down into it. And I wanted it to be in my voice. So I'd work on maybe one sentence for an hour because it just didn't come right. Because it's not an easy thing for me to do. But I am so thrilled that people have accepted it so beautifully. I'm really touched by that. And I did have some pearls, some words of wisdom in there. You can't live 80 years and not come up with some of those for yourself. So I
say what?
Oh, yeah. So that's why people just pushed me and said, you're going to do it.
And once you did, was it cathartic and therapeutic for you, sharing and then, really expressing yourself in the way that you did so beautifully in the book?
Thank you. Yes, it was. And my mother, and I've got this in the book, at the last minute I put it in at the end. My mother wanted to write a book called Life with Tina because I have had some of the funniest things happen to me, or maybe because of me or whatever. And she started writing some stories. And I said, that's good. Thank you.
You want it off all the way?
Yeah. Yeah. No, don't touch it anymore. It's that fan is really old.
You need to be on time.
No.
Okay.
We're on the air, Kathy. I've got people say hello to Kathy, everybody.
Hi, Kathy. We love you, Kathy. Hello from the East Coast. Thank you, Kathy. A wonderful production assistant for today's episode.
Okay, now I lost my train of thought. Where was I, everybody?
You were talking about your mother and wanting to write a book, and yeah.
And she so there were lots of things. Oh no, I know. So writing this Life with Tina, so there were all these really funny things that have happened to me over the years, and she thought this would be a really funny book. So I took some of those stories, and I still have, I'm very entertaining. I mean, with my friends just laugh at me all the time.
As just evidence with the fan episode.
And so I wrote some of those stories. I mean, like getting into a stranger's car and sitting down and not even know I'm in someone else's car, and the person turning around and going, "Are you comfortable?
Are you comfortable? Yes, have a seat.
And where would you like to go?" I mean, it's constant. I do things like this all the time. So we had to put in a chapter. It could have been like the whole book. And then someone said, well, you're going to write another book. And I said, oh my goodness, no. And my older son said, I think your next book should be all the times you almost killed us.
Killed us.
He said, that would be a good book. No, this is it. This is my one and only, you guys.
Are they in the entertainment industry at all as well? Your son and
No, well,
Frawley?
my second son is a really wonderful actor and voice person, but couldn't make a living at it. So he's a manager of Top Golf. Have you ever heard of those? They're
Yes.
amazing, and he's in Arkansas now with that. My oldest son was post-production supervisor for all of the Jackass Enterprise,
Oh,
along with Mary Kate and Ashley and some other things that he did. Um, and his wife Jennifer is a director on The Bold and the Beautiful.
oh, wow.
So there are a few. My cousin is, I told you Cam Clark, who was Leonardo, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. He was Snoopy. He was, Flounder and Simba. I mean, all these voices that he does. He's the villain in the video game. What is it? Metal Gear Solid. He does all these Comic-Cons and things.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people in our family that are still. My cousin Jenny is got her own band and works mostly locally in Los Angeles. She's blues. My niece is a wonderful singer and does a lot of retro stuff. She lives in Santa Barbara, and so people are still carrying on the genes.
How about the King's cousins? Are you still doing things together now? I know you had the reunion.
Yeah, we worked for about 5 years.
Yeah.
And then my cousin Carolyn wanted to do a lot of traveling, and she said, I really don't want to do this anymore. And we'd had an experience with a ringer before. It just didn't work as well. So we retired. But the CD is really wonderful, you guys. It is the happiest CD, more today than yesterday. It's a really good,
Yes.
really fun album. And it was all songs that had not been on other albums before. So
Which is
they were from
wonderful.
television shows, and like the Jonathan Winter Show or the John Davidson's show.
What was it like working? We had John's a friend, and he was a friend of our show. He's been on several times. What was it like working with him? There's a mega super passionate entertainer, John Davidson, huh?
He was amazing. He is amazing. He was just wonderful. What a great experience they needed some girl singers. So
Right.
they called the King family and said, hey, you got some girls? And they said, yeah. So we did a show, and they said, we like you so much, we're going to keep you for the whole season. And
That's amazing.
we had so much fun. We did socialize together, that whole group.
Mm.
I've got a story in my book about Richie Pryor, the 5 cousins at the time. And Richie really, really kind of bonded. And I've got a story about him in the book that's really fun.
That's
So
fantastic.
I can't tell you got to read the book.
You got to read the book, which is available at Amazon and everywhere books are sold. It's really fantastic.
Thank you.
What are some other, in addition to this book, what are some other things maybe that you're working on, that you're doing, or in this iconic career, Tina, you haven't done yet that you would still like to do?
I'm on the board of directors for a wonderful community theater company called the Lincoln Theater Company. It's about, 25, 30 minutes east, I think northeast of Sacramento. And I've not been able to do the plays, but in fact, we're doing Fiddler on the Roof, right? We're getting ready to do that
That's
in
great.
September. But we've done once a year, we do a cabaret. So I sing in the cabaret. I've got an idea for it. We did these fabulous plays for my children's theater, and we're talking about maybe producing those actually for, like, I do a YouTube channel or of something. They're for children, and they're wonderful. So there are lots of irons in the fire. I'm still hoping to do a Hallmark show, because wouldn't I be a great grandma for Hallmark?
Oh, are you kidding me?
Or, the store owner, or the person who runs a Christmas tree lot, the mayor of the town.
Kind of like and see me, right? Yeah, just like
Exactly.
that.
I hope
Absolutely.
Hallmark's going to call and say, "Hey, we've got a project."
Yes, we have a lot of Hallmark lovers that watch our show here, the Jim Masters show.
Oh,
So
I bet.
absolutely, that would be great, like one of the
You know,
Christmas movies
I'm not
or
gone yet, so
no, no, no.
you know, I'm hoping there's still, you know, some work
Oh,
coming up
absolutely.
down the pike for me.
When you look at this iconic career and just the life that you've lived and, through it all, what are some of those joys and blessings in your life that continue you to want to entertain and share and inspire all the rest of us, Tina?
It's just making people feel good about themselves, being happy. Of course, my children are my grandchildren and my children. In fact, we're all going up for my big birthday. We're going to Lake Arrowhead, 14 of us,
Ooh,
for a weekend just to be. They said, "What do you want to do for your birthday?" And I said, "Just want to be with you. That's what I want." And they're the inspiration. They're the, and my cousins. My cousins are like siblings. We are closer than many siblings are. And we get in these threads. I mean, we talk almost every day, either Facebook or text or whatever, phone calls. We're going up to Lake Arrowhead the following weekend, all my cousins, for a get together for a weekend. We do, it's just, I don't know what I would do without my family and
well,
some of my
yeah,
dear friends.
and
I
dear
still
friends.
get together with high school friends. Like once a year, we get together, like 34 of us, 30 or 40 of us, to watch the Super Bowl. And we graduated in 1961, and we're still getting together.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, and people will say, "Oh, Tina's here now; the party can start."
That's right, exactly. Well, look, Kendra says Tina has not changed. Thank you,
Oh,
Kendra. And
Kendra,
Kathleen Walker, Tina, you are a gem and you are so lovely. And
thank
they've
you.
all said that you are definitely a Jim Masters show lovety. Yes, she is so pretty. Absolutely. Um, Thanks, Tina, for sharing such entertaining stories, learning so much more behind the scenes. Tina's had incredible opportunities in her career. Tina's beautiful, beautiful soul, wonderful conversation. Jim, the pleasure is mine. Tina, you are absolutely lovely, lovety. This has been such a wonderful conversation. Thank you for spending time with us. Well, if
Thank
you're
you.
ever having a
That's some
bad day,
great
Tina,
people. Yeah.
come on the show and we'll commiserate again. And,
Well, thank you so much. This has been a joy.
I really am honored to have you here. I know you're very busy and a lot going on. And, just to take the time to spend and working in television and radio myself, it's so exciting. I love when I get a chance to talk to people who, have done things to, inspire us and entertain us. And you do it in so many different ways.
Thank you.
It's really spectacular. I really hope the show met whatever expectations you had and you
Absolutely.
enjoyed
More.
the time with
Like
me.
I said at the beginning, I could die now.
So
I've heard my own eulogy.
And I hope you enjoyed the time as much as I absolutely positively have with you, Tina. You truly are a breath of fresh air.
Thank you so much.
You are very, very welcome. Thank you for the kind words too. And as my dad has always said, and I mentioned this on the show, he told us this as early as 7 years old for us. Whenever anybody says something kind or nice to you, ask them to please put it in writing and address it management.
That's funny.
Isn't that good? That's just the way it would be.
I learned something. One last thought. Thank you.
And they want you on Hallmark too.
When I met Tom Jones, speaking of Tom Jones, it was the night of his premiere of his television show. And my sister's husband, my brother-in-law, Jim Green, was the liaison for ABC and his show. And he arranged a big party at the candy store in Beverly Hills. And we were waiting. I went with him because my sister couldn't go. And so I went with Jim. And we were waiting at the bar, ready to escort him into the party room. And, you know, everybody was so excited about Tom Jones. I mean, how couldn't you be? And as he walked through, he stopped and Jim said, "I'd like you to meet my sister-in-law. This is Tina Cole." He stopped for, I don't know, 5 seconds. I don't know what it was. He took my hands in his and he said, "It is so nice to meet you." I mean, for that 5 seconds or whatever that was, I could have been the only person on the planet. His eyes weren't going, "Oh yeah, it's really nice to meet you, Tina." Yeah, you know, looking around. He was focused, and I thought,
Was it the left hand or the right hand?
and I just
Watch that hand since.
yeah, really, really. And I thought that I am going to emulate that. That is going to be my mantra, my whatever
The way to be.
to
Yeah.
be. And I have tried to do that my whole life. I don't care if it's a person in the drive-through or, you know, the checker at the, you know, whatever.
Absolutely.
If you look at them in the eyes and you smile and
Yes.
like you say, conversation. I mean, it could be one sentence, but you thank them, you look at them sincerely, compliment them if it, you know, if it's warranted. It changes their life for that day or whatever.
A world of difference.
Yeah. And I just, you know, and I learned that from Tom Jones.
Isn't that amazing?
I've never forgotten it.
And you've carried it through. You've carried it through. Timothy Larson watching, and good to see you, Timothy. Thanks, Jim and Tina. Great conversation tonight. Linda Johnson, we love you, Tina. Thank you for being here. Hearts from Kendra. Joseph says, thank you so much, Tina and Jim. Kathleen says, happy birthday, Tina.
Thank you.
Yes, happy birthday to you. Yes. And Monks here says, you know, in the late 70s and 80s, why were you not on Love Boat and Fantasy Island? You would have been great.
Because I never had an agent. Isn't that dumb? Because remember,
you did it all yourself?
I didn't know about the business. Nobody told me about Raised by Wolves.
Yeah.
Nobody told me about the business of the business.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
I
could have seen you on those Love Boat.
I would have loved those.
But you were on so many other, I mean, you're the Lucy show. And did you like being on the game shows too?
Oh, I
Family Feud and
Hollywood Squares terrified.
Hollywood's did it?
I didn't like I wasn't good at that. I was in the dumb square, you know, the pretty square. the pretty dumb square. That was my square.
Which one is that?
I don't know, but it's the one I was in.
What's the dumb square? That is funny. Well, you're amazing. Tina Cole, this was really terrific. Oh. You know, we chatted and I always tell everybody, you know, if somebody has just 20 minutes, we do 20 minutes. They have a half hour, they have, you know, we never do just 10 minutes because what can you really get in 10 minutes other than here's the book, here's the CD, see you later. You know, you don't get the warmth, the vibe, the connection, and the audience diving in as they have. An hour and 49 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
And it doesn't seem like it, right? That's what everybody says. It's just a nice conversation, two people chatting. And it's as if
it's been wonderful.
Oh,
you are a great host.
I appreciate that very, very much. And everybody again.
Now I lovey a newbie levity.
You're a newbie Jim Masters show levity, Tina Cole. Absolutely. Spread the word about our show. If you know other folks you think would love to join us, everybody is welcome to join us here on the show. And again, congratulations on not just the book, but everything that you've done and continue to do. There is the book, My 3 Lives. I love the
there it is.
There it is. She's actually got it. I love the show the back of it too. Yeah,
that's cool. Because I got my 3 sons and I got my King family, and that was from the last King Cousins concert.
You got photos inside and everything
Oh,
that
tons
you've
of photos.
shared, and
Photos everywhere. They're
that's
not just stuck in the center. They're
right.
throughout the whole book with
They're
stories.
as they're telling the story as
Yeah.
well. This is really amazing
Oh.
stuff. Tina, you're a gem and a lovety, and thanks so much for stopping by the Jim
Thank you,
Masters
Jim.
Show Live. We've all thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, I hope you did too. And
I did.
you are welcome back here anytime.
Thank
We'll keep
you.
the porch light on for you, as I always
All
say.
right. Yes.
That
Thank
sound good?
Yeah, absolutely.
And thanks to Kathy for turning the fan off.
Kathy, you got credit here.
You know, they were saying, say hi to Kathy, say hi to Kathy. Yeah, look, hi, Kathy. Hi, Kathy. Hi,
Kathy,
Kathy.
you're getting hellos.
Kathy should say hi. Hi, Kathy. That's what happens. Kathy's a star too, right?
That's right. Yes, a very good friend.
Tina, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. What are you going to do next? You're going to make a sandwich now?
No, you know what? We're going to watch Jack Ryan.
Ah,
Yeah.
very good. Very
That's
good.
right.
You be well, my new friend.
Thank you.
Loved
Thank
having you
you, Jim.
here. Congratulations on everything. You take care, all right?
I will. You too. Bye-bye.
Mwah. Right back at you. You want to do that again? Let's get that in full.
Ready?
Mwah.
Mwah.
Mwah. Just like Dinah Shore did, right?
Mwah. That's it.
See the USA and your Chevrolet.
That's right.
Take care, Tina.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. The incomparable Tina Cole. What a great episode. So much fun. She is a regular riot, as Jackie Gleason would say. She is a kind-hearted soul. She's so affable and fun and compassionate and passionate and talented. A brilliant singer, actress. She's witty. She's funny. And she's now a lovety here on the Jim Masters Show Live. How cool is that, right? That's very special to what we do here at the Jim Masters Show. We have a lot of fun with that word lovety. It just sort of came out of my mouth a couple of years ago when I was saying the show has a lot of light, love, and levity, and tripped up and said lovety. But all the guests seem to love it, and you guys do too as well. Thanks for all the comments, folks. You guys were on fire during this episode, as you are during all the episodes. We just had a brilliant conversation with an iconic, legendary television, film, and stage actress, the one and only Tina Cole. And you know what's really cool is you got a chance to hear so much more about her life, well beyond playing Katie Miller Douglas on My Three Sons, the iconic, beloved 1960s television series on CBS. If you love My Three Sons, then go back on our archives here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and check out the episodes with Barry Livingston, who was Ernie, yes, on My Three Sons. He was a guest on our show. And take a look at the episode with Chip Douglas, Stanley Livingston, who was a guest on our show as well. Those are archived right here on our YouTube channel. Let's see. Jerry Mathers was here. The Beav from Leave It to Beaver. Check that episode out. Michael Leonard, who was on the Waltons. She played the mom. She was here as well. Karen Grassley from Little House on the Prairie. She was a guest on our show. Allison Arngrim, who was Nellie Olson, Little House on the Prairie. She was on our show as well. Burt Ward was with us a couple of times, who was Robin from Batman. Kathy Garver, who played Sissy from Family Affair, was here. Marion Ross, who was Mrs. Cunningham on Happy Days, was here. Anson Williams, who played Potsy. Donnie Most, who was Ralph Malph, was here as well. Ryan Cassidy from the Cassidy family was here just last night. And so many others, not just television, film, stage, but sports and comedy, culinary arts, health and wellness, science and nature, even psychics. We had a mime on the show, Greg Goldston, world-renowned mime, who was trained by and a friend of Marcel Marceau. As of course, you guys know Lucy Arnez and Melissa Manchester and countless more, all fabulous people. And if they weren't already friends before we started the show, we are friends once they become a guest on the show. And so many of them, want to be back with us. What we do here is special. It's different. It's unique. It's very interactive. And we do as much as we can. We do the shows live, and it's really cool. And this was really special. Just loved it. And you got a chance to hear about the King's sisters, the King's family, the King's cousins, all the other things that she's been a part of, the accolades, the awards, all of her incredible giving back to the community through her charitable efforts, which I think is really special. And of course, her new book, Tina Cole, My 3 Lives, her memoir, which is available on Amazon and where books are sold. And it really, she's very open and she's very real and honest and just fantastic. And let's show that again. You see it right there. That is her book, gang, hot off the presses. And for those of you that love her from My Three Sons, from movies, from the King family, and all the great music, we thank her for being here on the show. Again, we talked about her mom, Yvonne, and her dad, Buddy, who, of course, they are, of course, legends themselves, and all of these incredible years and years and years. The whole family has been they have provided so much entertainment to all of us when you think about it, right? There might be some folks who are watching right now who didn't even know about the musical side of Tina Cole. They just knew her from My Three Sons and maybe from the movies and other specials and things of that nature. Wonderful stories about William Demarest and William Frawley and her time on My Three Sons and the McMurray method of doing things, Fred McMurray, always, of course, gracing the cover of the iconic TV guides. I used to collect the TV guides. And how about that story about the music, singing for the Raquel Welch special because they had to redo it. And of course, all of these theatrical performances she's been a part of as well. We mentioned this in the introduction. Catching up with Barry Livingston, Stanley Livingston, Beverly Garland, who became her mother-in-law. Yeah. And of course, she was on. Beverly's in the middle there, standing, and Tina's seated. Yeah. And of course, this, See Me, the 2014 film, and lots more. Great story about this, one of her favorite dresses, huh? And look at this. These are just some of the things we showed, sprinkling in here as we celebrate an American icon in television, film, and stage and music, Tina Cole, here on the Jim Masters Show. This was really a lot of fun, gang. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, certainly support, celebrate what we're doing here, all this content, all this hard work behind the scenes to pull these shows off. It is epic. Do give us a thumbs up like on our YouTube channel. There's a thumbs up icon. We'd really appreciate it and love it if you can give this episode and all the ones you enjoy a thumbs up like. Leave a comment for us as well. We'd really appreciate that. Drop a comment right under the episode. We're very interactive. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. And when you do that, be sure and click the notification bell. There is a notification bell icon that is right next to the word subscribe. And when you click that, you will receive notifications about all of our special guests and all of our episodes. Today, we had 2 shows. If you didn't see the earlier broadcast, we celebrated Carol Sloan, the legendary jazz singer, with a new documentary that is out about her life that everybody's talking about. So, our guests are truly amazing, and we celebrate them, and we celebrate you. I'm your host and producer, Jim Masters, and I celebrate every single one of you, whether you just quietly watch and enjoy, or you comment during the live shows in our Lovely Hall chat room, or you leave comments. Those of you, and we receive hundreds and hundreds of emails every single week from around the world, and we receive lots of love on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. We have merged everything on Facebook. We've merged everything to make it easier, and you can visit us on the Facebook page, Jim Masters TV, and be sure and follow the page and give the page a like. That is our Facebook page, very interactive on that page as well. So we've sort of consolidated everything on Facebook to make it easy because my schedule is so busy with my television and radio work professionally. So we put everything into the one page, and that is Jim Masters TV, which is a page we've had for years. So you can like and comment there as well. And on Twitter and on Instagram, you can find me at Jim Masters TV as well. Follow, like, say hello, let us know where you watch from. And of course, the YouTube channel where all the episodes are. We really would love it if you can like, comment, subscribe, share the links on your social media as well, and celebrate what we're doing here. And thanks to all of you who have done that and continue to do that as well. It does take a village. Thanks to everybody who supports our show as well. We appreciate the contribution and support. With super thanks on our YouTube channel is a little heart icon. And when you click that, that helps support what we're doing. And of course, during the live shows in the Lovely Hall chat room section, where everybody's chatting, and sometimes we sprinkle some of the comments on the screen there when we are able to do that. If you do a super emoji, super sticker, super chat, as they call it, that helps support what we do as well. And we value that and thank you for doing that as well. And those of you who've done that, you are duly noted, greatly valued as well. And we thank you so very much. I do want to let you know that we've got some amazing guests coming up as well. Tomorrow, we have, again, another double Lovity Day, as we call it. We have two shows. You know, the lead singer from the 1990s, very popular trio 702, and brilliant author Mila Williams is with us tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. That's going to be a fantastic show for all of you. And then after that, more great music, because we have Alba Music, the hottest new flamenco fusion duo. Yes, Barbara and Albert will be with us. They are very, very popular. They're touring the country right now, and they're stopping by the Jim Masters Show at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, and it's going to be a lot of fun. That's just some of the many guests coming up for you on the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Celebrity Talk Show Series. Why do we call it that? Why is it such a long name? You know, that's true. I should just say the Jim Masters Show. It's a lot for me to say because we do entertainment. Sometimes we have lifestyle segments. You know, we've had Jacques Pepin, the iconic chef, on our show. So that's more sort of lifestyle. We've had, you know, health and wellness segments and other things. So that's lifestyle. And then, of course, celebrity talk show, the celebrities that pop by. Anyway, as we have a little quick chat here before we wrap up, it's been a very busy, busy day. Let's take a look at some of the comments, and we wish a happy birthday to Tina as well. And we thank everybody involved. Linda, thank you very much. I'm glad we caught this before we wrapped up. Thank you. Thank you for all you do, Jim. Linda Johnson just did a super chat in our super chat live in the Lovely Hall chat room. Thank you very much. That means a great deal, the fact that you do that. It's so kind of you. And we'll use that to, you know, probably replace a light bulb or something. Maybe, you know, it goes right back into the show and the content. So thank you so very, very much, Linda, for that kindness. We really appreciate that. And I appreciate these additional words. I know that it is not much, but I really appreciate your work for us, Linda. That is much. And the fact that you took the time to write that and do the super chat, that's very, very special. You know, you're definitely not a fair weather viewer. You are here. You know, some of you are here all the time, and we see that and we appreciate that. We have thousands and thousands of viewers who watch around the world. We hear from so many people. Some people, you don't even see them on the screen. You never hear from them publicly. They just watch, but they let us know and they reach out to us how much they value what we're doing here. We appreciate that as well. And then there's some of you who comment and share the levity and support, and we appreciate that as well. It all means a lot. It all goes into the kitty, as we say. It means a lot to us. Thank you, Jim, for a really great double levity day. You're the best. Thank you, Kathleen. Hope to see you soon, Kathleen. Hardy, har. As Gleason used to say, smile is coming in from Merlin. Thank you very much. Christine Clifton, watching in North Carolina. Jim, such an enjoyable conversation with Tina. Loved her fascinating stories. Her book sounds excellent. Fun being back in Lovely Hall for a live show. Good to have you here, Christine. I know you guys have had some really tough weather in North Carolina. Hope everybody is safe and sound in the Carolinas, in the USA. We've been very lucky. We are blessed where we are here with beautiful, beautiful weather. We're up here in the Northeast between New York and Boston, southern New England coast, and it's been very nice. I'm going to be heading out to Phoenix soon, where it's 120 degrees for television work. We're headed to Phoenix. We're headed to San Francisco area, Northern California for television work. I'm headed also to Maryland. Going to be interviewing a scientist. This is for my professional work in television at the University of Maryland as well. And then also heading to Pittsburgh. Yeah, and that's going to involve food with a nutritionist and chef. And I can't wait to go to that shoot. So we're going to be doing a lot of traveling. Jeffrey's here. I remember when Tina Cole sang the old Petula Clark hit Downtown on the show. That's right. Good memory, Jeffrey. And welcome to the Jim Masters Show. You're a part of the family now. We love it. There is no way Tina is going to be 80 years old. She is a timeless beauty inside and out. You know, if you have a good heart and you laugh, sometimes the payback is, youthful way, appearance, feeling. And she's definitely got that. She's always had it. Everybody is saying that there's no way. Yeah, she's amazing. Yep. Mm-hmm. As Linda Johnson said, yes, 80 on August 4th. So hard to believe. So we send her a very, very happy birthday as well. And take a look at a few more comments and then we'll wrap up. She's just terrific. What a great show. Thank you, Jim and Tina. As I said, we just let it roll. If a guest only has 20 minutes, we do 20 minutes. If they have a half hour, if they have 45 minutes, an hour, we don't tell guests they have to be here for any length of time. But if the conversation is really kicking and rolling and you guys are involved and the guest is enjoying themselves and we're having a lot of laughs and poignant moments too, because we had some deep moments in this episode, and I'm having a good time and it's just all melding beautifully, we just let it roll as we did here. Thank you, Kathleen. Timothy Larson says, thanks, Jim, for all that you do. Thank you, Timothy, and good to have you part of the JMS family as well, which continues to grow and grow and grow every single day. Don't forget, there is almost 1,000. I got to take a look at the numbers. I think we're just about almost at 1,000 episodes now of our show, of our series. And so feel free to binge watch and take a look at some of the past episodes. Kendra, thanks for the hearts. And you are very welcome as well. Appreciate this. And again, thanks for all the super chats, super emojis, super stickers. Kathleen Walker just did a super sticker. Thank you very much, Kathleen. I appreciate that very much. That's something that you can do in the Levity Hall chat room. Or again, if you never get a chance to do it when the shows are live, you can always support us through the heart icon that's on the YouTube channel. That's under all the episodes, and it's called Super Thanks. All right, gang. Appreciate you being here. We already told you about some of the other folks that are coming up. Like, comment, subscribe, stay connected. If this was your first time joining us here at the Jim Masters Show Live and you want more, well, we've got a lot more coming up for you. A lot of surprises, a lot of cool things happening that we're working on. And I just can't believe we've been here over 3 years and plus 3 months or so and almost 1,000 episodes and still going at it. It's amazing. We've been through a lot together. Some of you who've been with us for a long time, haven't we? Through a lot of events in the world and a lot of things that have happened just on an everyday basis. And the fact that we're still here with all this levity and content, I love it. And I look forward to doing what we can to put a smile on your face, entertain, connect with all of you, and do everything and whatever we can to do what I do as a broadcaster. Come on the air and celebrate things with you, like Tina Cole today. Cool stuff. All right, gang. We don't say goodbye. We say see you later. Ciao, cheers, hasta la vista. We say auf Wiedersehen, sayonara, shalom, slancha, moilu, hejda, cheerio, sayonara. Take care, be well, and we love you. One more time, we thank Tina Cole. And again, here is the book. Look for this book. It's available on Amazon. Tina Cole, My Three Lives, a memoir, here on the show. And it was really wonderful having her here as our special guest, mine and yours. Great stories, a great lady, so much. And Maureen says, and Maureen, I bet you could have used the fan that Tina had, that Kathy had to turn off because it was making that mariachi band sound. Maureen in Arizona, 120 degrees. I hope that it is a lot cooler when we come. We're going to be there in a few weeks. I'll keep you posted, Maureen. Be proud of what you have created, Jim. This lovely family is an absolute treasure. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's so, if you missed anything, gang, I see Pam says, almost missed it. Don't worry, Pam. The archives are there. You can see it all again. All of your ceiling fans are going nonstop because it's 120 degrees where you are in Phoenix, Arizona, USA. I hope it cools off you guys. You did miss it. Darn it. Now, you're subscribed, obviously, to the YouTube channel. Make sure, if you haven't, there's a notification bell icon, Pam, next to the word subscribe. Click that. When you click that, you receive notifications from the Jim Masters Show and from the actual YouTube channel about all the episodes, so you'll never miss anything. But if you do, if your day gets in the way, don't fret, because look what happens. We archive and save everything so you can see it on the YouTube channel in full. But I know you like to be here. A lot of people like to be here, when we're actually live. There's something, I love doing things when I can live. I've done television, radio, and stage for many years live, and I love the energy of live. And it's a lot of work when you do it live, but I do enjoy the live. And anything can happen. Technically, things can go wrong, and anything can happen when you're live. But there is a beauty to that. But hey, check it out in the... I'll have to remember. Check it out in the archives. Yeah, click the notification bell. It's a little bell icon next to the word subscribe. And that way there, you never miss anything. And you'll always be there. And yes, try to remember. Do, 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 do. It's a great song. All right, take care to you as well. And Maureen's got the ceiling fans going in hot Arizona. And we appreciate it. We thank Tina Cole. We thank all of you. We don't say goodbye around here. We say see you later. Ciao, cheers, all the rest. All right. So as I said, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jim Masters TV and all the rest. Cool stuff. All right. Just taking a look at some final comments here. We appreciate all of you, and thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. We'll see you on the next one, gang, okay? This is your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time till next time. I could really make these endings, shorter. Just after the guest says, see you later, just end the show. But we have so much fun, and, I think it's less stale and less just wham bam. It's more of a conversation. When we have this little extra sometimes I do have to peel out of here because I have to be somewhere. But I do like the conversation a little bit that we have after we thank the guest. And that's a little host viewer time, which is why we do this part where we're chatting with you and looking at comments and things of that nature. Not everybody does that, but we thoroughly enjoy that. So that is a wrap. I can't wait to see my dear friend Lucy Arnaz. We're seeing her in a couple of days. She's here in the New York area performing at 54 Below, and we're going to go see her. We cannot wait. She was a guest on our show a couple of times. And what the heck, we'll throw this in. She loves our show. She's been here a couple of times, and she'll be back again. And she wanted to share this.
Hey, Jim, congratulations. That's quite a milestone. I've always enjoyed talking to you. You do a great show. Positive, optimistic, interested. You do your homework. We love being with you, and I hope we get a chance to do it again sometime. With love from Lucy Arnaz and Larry Luckenbill.
There's a lot of kissing going on in this episode, huh? Tina Cole, Lucy Arnaz, we love it. Cool stuff, gang. There's many more of those, and we'll slip them in if you. Yay, Lucy, you like that one, huh? Too, right? So do I. You know the soap opera actress, did I say soap opera? Soap opera actress, All My Children, General Hospital, so much more, and a brilliant actress unto herself. Eileen Kristen was on our show, and she loved it, and we had so much fun with her. And I don't know if you saw it when she had these comments, but she was fantastic. You can see that episode archived on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV.
Hey, Jim and everybody out there. This is Eileen Kristen. Jim, I want to congratulate you on your 3rd anniversary of your spectacular show. I really enjoyed doing it. You ask all the right questions. You really, really, really do your homework, frighteningly so. There I was showing up as a 18-year-old in a toothpaste commercial. So you really do your work, and I hope you have many, many more years of doing what you do. And hopefully soon, maybe I'll have something interesting to talk about again and be a guest on your show. Take care. Congratulations.
Isn't she great? She's absolutely great. Somebody else that's great, Melissa Manchester.
Hi, this is Melissa Manchester. Happy 3rd anniversary, Jim Masters. I'm so happy for your achievements thus far with no end in sight. I was delighted to be invited to be on your show twice, and we had a lovely time discussing my career and achievements. And what struck me was how delightful the tone was. It was not, you were not looking for any gotcha moments. You know, you, Jim, are interested apparently in restoring the art of conversation, and with that, the concept of levity, which I just find charming and encouraging and delightful. So I look forward to chatting with you again, dear Jim, and congratulations again for making a space where people can share their ideas, where you can ask thoughtful, probing questions to see how we're all doing on our paths, our parallel paths. So wishing you many, many more happy anniversaries. Long may levity wave, and you too. Be well.
Isn't she amazing? You know who else was great? Barbara Brighton. Thank you, Melissa. Barbara is a legendary Vegas comedian. She's a riot, and she did a funny sort of skit situation with her beautiful video that I thought was hilarious. She has somebody holding the camera, and she's like, don't zoom in that close. And she's on a lounge chair in Vegas. Legendary comedian Barbara Brighton was a guest on our show too, but she had these funny words to share.
Is it? Yeah, just press it.
Yeah. And do I go around you?
No, just do me.
Just doing this?
Yeah.
Let me zoom.
Are you starting? Don't go zooming. Don't go zooming. How is it?
Good. I look good.
Shall I start?
Yeah, it already started.
Hey, Jim. It's Barbara Brighton. I'm making you a video of a little bit of me today without makeup, but because I love you, I'm doing it. I loved being on your show. It's so informative, and I had such fun with you. Once I got all connected, I'm sure you remember that. Anyway, I wish you luck on your 3rd anniversary, and you'll have many more wonderful guests with lots of wonderful news of entertainment and lifestyle, and I thank you so much for inviting me. Bye for now. Press.
She goes, press it. Don't go zooming. That's funny. There's many, many more. We'll sprinkle more in. You know, we had these during our 3rd year anniversary celebration, but we'll sprinkle a few in case you guys missed any of them. Just really appreciate everybody taking the time to send those in. I agree, Linda. Yeah, love these messages. Very nice. All of them very kind people and great just great people. You know, one of my dear friends is Christine Oldman. We just saw her perform recently in concert, and I think she's down in Muscle Shoals right now, that music legendary place. She, for over 30 years, has been with the SNL, the Saturday Night Live band, as their lead singer. 30 years with Saturday Night Live. She's a dear, dear friend. She was a guest on our show. She'll be back too. And she had these words.
Hey everybody, it's Christine Ullman, the Beehive Queen from the Saturday Night Live band, here for my dear friend Jim Masters to celebrate the 3rd anniversary of the Jim Masters Show live. Over 900 episodes says it all. It's fabulous. Happy anniversary, Jim.
She's one cool lady, very, very talented, and we loved having her on. Also, somebody else that we enjoyed, well, we enjoy everybody, but Sissy Wellman, of course, you know, from the Waltons, and an iconic Hollywood veteran actress. She was on our show, and we're going to have her back real soon, too. But she wanted to share these words.
Hey, Jim. Sissy Wellman here. Happy 3rd year anniversary. Bravo. And what a joy it was meeting you and being interviewed by you. And one of the main things I really love about you is your love of Hollywood. You know, I'm blessed to have been raised in it, but man, to find people that really love it the way you do, what a gift you are. You're a gift to us all. So again, happy anniversary, sweetie pie. And many more years of doing this, please. And if you notice, look who's behind me. I don't know if it's noticed, but that's my dad, Wild Bill. So, God bless, sweetie pie.
God bless you back, Sissy Wellman. You are a true delight. Somebody that did a really funny video as well is the brilliant Karen Drucker. Did you see the episode she was on? Well, she was a hoot. You can see it archived on our YouTube channel. She had these words, and with a little entertainment as well.
Hey, everybody. It's Karen Drucker coming to you from San Francisco, California. And I am here to celebrate the fabulous Jim Masters. 900 episodes? Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. So, Jim, you know, I do this thing in my life where I say when something is it lights me up. There's like no time. You know, everything is just exciting. And when something is not it, you just go, oh, my God, this is forever. And when I was on your show, I came away and went, oh, my God, that was it. It was so fun. You're fabulous. No wonder you've had 900 shows, because you're fabulous. So I wish you happy everything for your 3rd year anniversary. This is fabulous, and I hope I'm back with you again. And keep doing what you're doing. You're bringing love and light to this world, and we need it. So once again, I celebrate you.
Isn't she amazing? And a real hoot. Of course, my buddy, Neil Byrne, who has been with Celtic Thunder for years, and Vernon Kelly, and he's just was on a recent tour of the United States. He's been on it several times. I also interviewed him on PBS television nationally here in America. And we've known each other ever since Celtic Thunder was created. All the guys actually from Celtic Thunder, all the ladies from Celtic Woman. I think I've interviewed them all on national television as well as here on the Jim Masters Show. Neil had these kind words.
Well, Jim, a big hello and an even bigger happy anniversary from your old pal here in County Wexford in Ireland. Jim, I was only speaking to you a couple of weeks ago on the show. I can't believe it's 3 years. It's been, I think, the first year I was with you on the show. And you know what? It gets better every time I go on. I love your show. It's like coming into your living room and sitting down and having a cup of tea with you and just having an old chat. And the one thing I notice about your interviews is you never notice the time going. You know, it just flies because it's so entertaining, and you're like that with all your your guests, you know. You're like a friend to everybody, and it's a wonderful thing, you know. It's such a positive thing you have going there. And I want to thank you for being so good to me over the years as well. And here's to another 3 years, many years. Here's to another 30 years, Jim. Forget 3. All right, so keep it going. Love you. Keep the great work going. Talk to you soon. God bless.
Thank you very much, Neil Byrne. I think the graphics said Karen Drucker there for a second, but that was Neil Byrne. And yes, anything can happen when you're live. And Ruben, of course, Roberto Gomez, a brilliant actor, has been in a lot of TV shows and a lot of productions. Really nice guy. And we had such a wonderful time when he was a guest on the Jim Masters Show live series. He wanted to share these fabulous words. Ruben's the best.
Hello, Jim. Congratulations on the 3rd anniversary of the Jim Masters Show live. I will never forget the day that I was your guest. You made me feel so at home, so comfortable and relaxed that I did something I was not planning on doing. I ended up singing in your show. And I received many comments afterwards from friends and people that saw the show that they really liked it. And I want to tell you, this is all to you because you have a gift. You are a remarkable host, superb host. And this show will continue being a hit thanks to you. And I want to wish you many, many more years. And I want to send you something. I want to send you a big hug. Or like we say in Spanish, un gran abrazo.
That was a big one. Thank you, Ruben. I appreciate that. And really, really nice. You guys are great. And glad you're enjoying these messages. We're going to scoot out of here, and maybe I'll have a sandwich. And thanks so much again. We just wanted to sprinkle a few of those in because we all lead busy lives, and we have many more, but we just wanted to throw a few in to share with you some of the vibes and kind words that some of our great guests have been sharing off the air and on the air here. And we really appreciate that. And we appreciate all of you. So with all of that said, it's time to shut the lights off. I'm so glad we had this time together, as Carol Burnett said. See you on the next episode. We're not going anywhere. We got 2 shows tomorrow, so back at it. And then I'm on the air on radio. I've got 3 radio shows to host professionally. And then we'll be back in this chair doing more of this for all of you with these fabulous guests, Mila Williams, lead singer from 702, and also the very, very popular flamenco fusion duo Alba Music. They are with us tomorrow on JMS, the Jim Masters Show. For all of you who are still with us, we love you all, and thanks so much. Linda says, thanks so much. Enjoyed this. That's what we want to hear. Terry Ann, good to see you, Terry Ann. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Jim and Tina Cole. Absolutely. I love it. You guys are great. Take care, gang. We love you all. We'll see you on the next episode. We'll be back here 2 shows tomorrow. So we'll be right here waiting for you. First time here, come back and see us again. We would love that. Enjoyed what you saw? Spread the word. Tell everybody you know about our show, The Jim Masters Show. This is your host, Jim Masters. Thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, we'll see you on the next one. Be well and cheers.